I think it's so important, and especially for young people coming up, for us to pass on that history to them, and the Legion does a great job. And Matt, welcome. We're very pleased and honored to have you here tonight.
Thank you, Mark. I'm pleased and honored to be here.
Well, good evening. I was impressed with the paraphernalia that you've got on here.
Yes, yeah.
Mike and I have got one medal each that we got many years ago. But can you tell us what each of those medals are for?
You're still young enough to get more. On this side is my police medals. Exemplary service and long service. This is the Queen's Jubilee, Gold Jubilee medal, which Mike presented to me. My 35-year police pin.
Yeah.
And my president's pin. And over here is Legion medals.
Oh, very nice.
As past officers. And at one point was treasurer before he became president. This is a 75-year anniversary of the Legion.
Of Branch 60?
Branch 60, yeah, because Branch 60 was incorporated and received its charter at the same time as the Royal Canadian Legion in 1926.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah.
And how long have you been president, Matt?
I've been president. I'm going into my 10th year.
Oh, wow, very good.
Yeah.
And part of the reason I invited you here tonight was, people will show up at the cenotaph, hopefully, a large crowd. We've had large crowds over the last number of years, and we see volunteers, veterans, and others selling poppies and so on. But I don't know if people really understand, what is the Legion's role in the Remembrance Day commemorations?
Well, first of all, the poppy program is to bring in money, and the mandate is to look after our war veterans and the present day military people and their families. And we do that by, they're brought to our attention and we look after them. And we also, the poppy money is used for emergency service for the veterans, like hospitals, hospices, anything that in that nature that a veteran needs to use. And we also, in poppy money, we support the 3 cadet programs, Air Force, Army, and Navy. And in 2015, we put back into the community from the Poppy Fund $112,000. We also have break open tickets and a bingo, small bingo on Saturday. We have a license to do that. And the license stipulates that that money has to be spent on charitable organizations or minor sports. So we support breast cancer and heart and stroke and autism
and bereaved families of Ontario.
Bereaved families of Ontario.
Yes.
And hockey team and minor hockey team, baseball team, softball team, soccer team, bowling team. None of that money collected on Poppy or the break open tickets or bingo can go to keeping our Legion open.
You can't operate the Legion with it. Okay. So what about the actual ceremony at City Hall? What's the Legion's involvement with that?
Well, we organize the parade, which is leaves Central High School at 10:30 on November 11th, 10:30 a.m., and march down to the cenotaph. And at the cenotaph, we've organized a service. We have a Reverend Bill Bond, our Padre, and a Reverend from the Catholic Church. And we have Bill Reed, who is our singing poppy man down at the school station.
I think everybody knows him.
Everybody knows Bill, and he more or less MCs the service there. and a wreath is laid in memory of a soldier or a bunch of soldiers or members who have passed away. People who purchase a wreath are called to lay it in front of the cenotaph. So, and we get quite a crowd, and in fact we got bigger crowds in the last 3 or 4 years. It's really grown. I think the young people are catching on to what they owe to those men and women that serve in our armed forces. They were brave people, and what they've done for our country, we owe them a big debt. So Remembrance Day is to bring it out and keep people aware of what they did for us.
Well, I was impressed, I guess it was last year, to see the number of school-aged kids that actually, with their parent, either mom or dad or both, that were at the Remembrance Day celebration. And they actually took time off school to come down. I thought that was very impressive, to be honest with you.
Yes, we also run, in connection with Remembrance Day, we run a poster contest in the schools.
Oh, okay.
And the children submit posters, and they're judged. They can go if they're, well, they'll be successful at the branch. Somebody comes first. And then they go on to zone, and then they go on to district, and they go on to provincial,
really?
and they could go on to Dominion and top poster in Canada. And we get a lot of kids involved, and a lot of schools are now getting on the
Making
bandwagon,
it part
I guess
of their
curriculum.
programs.
Yeah. And some of them are just fantastic. The posters that come in, and the poems and the stories written by the students, and it's really something.
I think most people think that the Legion is there for veterans, which is a part of the mandate for sure. What is, we have a Veterans Affairs Department, ministry that looks after veterans. You explained what the poppy money goes to, which is, I think most people wouldn't understand that. They probably thought it was operating cash for the, but it's actually money for service to the community and to veterans. What is the Legion or Dominion's the relationship or relationship with Veterans Affairs? Do you have a relationship with Veterans Affairs?
Yes.
I'll tell you, it's better now than it was.
Maybe.
No, and that was a question that I was going to ask you, but we'll let you answer Mike's question first.
You're talking 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah,
okay. Department of Affairs sends a representative to our Legion once every couple of months.
Okay.
She was there today, actually. And we advertise it in our Legion, and the veterans, if they want help, they'll make an appointment and come in and see her. And we have a veterans officer in the branch who looks after our veterans. And so he'll make the appointment for them, and they'll come in and speak to the young girl and take it from there. It's confidential, so I'm not privy to what they're asking for. Ourselves in our Poppy Fund now, we'll provide eyeglasses, false teeth, rent for if they're having a problem making their rent, stuff like that.
Well, do you get any government money per se to put on these valuable not events, but get involved in veterans' lives and help them out? Where is the government in this?
Well, we don't receive any money from the government.
I think people would be surprised at that.
For any reason. We have to scratch out the money to keep our Legion going on our own. I guess that's your answer, Mark. We don't get money
Right.
any purpose from any government or.
So you do more than just programs and support for veterans. You do other things in the community. Can you give us some idea what you do in terms of supporting your members or the community throughout the year, other than what you do on Remembrance Day?
Yeah, we support anybody that comes and asks for
right?
assistance. They don't have to be a member. They don't have to be a vet, really. But they, you know, if somebody's destitute, we're going to help them out some way or other. We have to run our big program now is fish and chips on Friday evenings.
Okay.
And our bar, trying to sustain us through those two avenues. And it's kind of difficult at times when everything's going up. Our utilities are really.
I understand hydro is just going through the roof, as it is with everyone else.
Yeah, about 7 or 8 years ago, Burlington Hydro started a program where they would pay, I think it was 40% of the cost of changing our big fluorescent lights into LED lights, changing the ballast and so on. So we spent $6,000 on that, and they said you'll realize a $10,000 savings. And lo and behold, we did. The first year, we went from $38,000 a year to $28,000. Our last 3 bills now have been $5,200 for July, $6,700 for August, $6,200 for September. It's just getting to the place where if it continues, we can't make that money.
Yeah.
Like, unfortunately, everything we sell, we have to buy first to sell.
Right.
And
so your events, such as Fish and Chip Night, which is excellent, by the way, the bar, all the other money-generating events you do, can go to operating just to keep the lights on it and the doors open. Is that correct?
That's for our operation costs. Yeah.
But you're having challenges with that as things have been going up, and your revenues have they basically stayed relatively steady?
In the last year, it's increased a bit in the last year. We're one of the I guess legions that are on solid ground. Which is shaky sometimes, but we do have money, you know, that we didn't have, say, when I became president. As I say, that was a series of events that just wiped the money out, and trying to keep the thing open. But yes, we have a mortgage. Believe it or not, we're 90 years old, and we have a mortgage.
Yeah.
And it's substantial. We have to pay that monthly, weekly basis, monthly basis, whatever we prefer. Plus the utilities, plus insurance, and so on and so forth.
Now, tell me, Matt, with all that you do in the community, is your membership increasing or decreasing or staying about where it is? Because I was under the impression when we were talking out in the green room that for you to become a member, you had to have some affiliation with the armed forces, and you quite rightly called me on that and said, no, that's not right. Can you tell our audience how they can be involved in the membership and whether it's increasing or decreasing?
Well, our membership is, we're attracting new members every year, 30 to 50 a year, and our membership seems to be stagnant. We're losing as many, almost, or more sometimes. There's 3 categories of membership. Legion started out as a club for the veterans coming home from the First World War, and then the Second World War and the Korean War. You had to be a veteran to go, or you had to be accompanied by a veteran. Then, of course, as the veterans dwindled, they brought in a new category of associate member. And that is, if you have a family member who served in the force, you can join the Legion as an associate member. Well, then in the 90s, they brought in affiliate members. You don't need to be an associate of a military person or a member of the military.
And that was to increase your membership and keep the Legions vital.
Right.
But that's a decision that's made at a higher level than Branch 60, is it?
That decision was made by Dominion Command in Ottawa. Yeah.
Okay. Now, this must be a difficult time of the year, you know, being November 1st, leading up to the 11th. Must be a difficult time for a lot of your membership, bringing back memories of things. How do you perceive your membership as dealing with those issues?
Well, they deal very well with it, really, although it's always there. There's sadness, and there's joy. You get the old veterans, and they'll tell you stories that they'll make you cry, or you die laughing.
Or you couldn't tell on Coach Co television.
Yeah, there's some of them, yeah. But and then the members that are associate members, they feel proud of their grandfather or their father or their uncles or whatever, and it shows. And they go down the cenotaph. There's a lot of tears, a lot of memories, I guess. But we try our best to put on a program that speaks to that, and hopefully we're able to help them overcome whatever they're feeling. Instead of feeling sad, they feel proud, and proud of their fathers, grandfathers, and so on. So the younger members, I think our membership is over 60, most of, but the younger ones, they join in too, and they participate, and they feel very strongly about supporting the veterans. Naturally, they probably wouldn't have joined our Legion to begin with if they didn't feel that way. Yeah. So yeah, there is as you say, Mark, there is a period of 2 weeks in the year where this is brought right back to, particularly, you know, the husbands and wives who have maybe lost their husband or wife. It's got to prey on them, and we try to eliminate that by various things that go on at the Legion, and the service at the cenotaph is the big function for them.
So it's November 11th, 11 o'clock in Burlington, down at the cenotaph, and I know Oakville has it as well, along with Milton. I think Milton, as a matter of fact, has a couple of different ways to honor our veterans, and Halton Hills as well. So I would encourage any of our viewers to make it down on November 11th. And Matt, I want to thank you very much for joining us today. You've given me something to think about in terms of support for the Legion, and as always in terms of Remembrance Day and the veterans that we've lost. So I thank you very much.
Thank you for inviting me and giving me the opportunity to explain what goes on at our Legion, which we are very proud of.
And we'll see you at the parade, November 11th, 10:30 at Nelson School. starting there?
Nelson. Central School. You'll see me at the cenotaph.
Okay.
Playing wreath.
There you
Okay.
go, Father.
We'll say hi to you there.
Yeah.
And to our viewers, we want to thank Matt for being with us today.